Right, let's get started. My arrows up on the top here got a little functified. I'm not sure what happened there, but you'll get the picture in a second. Isaiah, what's up? Of course. All right, so let's take a look at the top here. A spoiler alert is that dividing integers follows the same rules as multiplying integers. I'm going to show you why here first, okay? We already know from yesterday that a positive times a negative is going to be negative, and 5 times 3 is 15. And multiplying and dividing, we can kind of form these little families where you basically do the opposite of multiplication fact here by dividing, kind of going backwards. So what divided by negative 3 will give you 5? Well, that's exactly what this is, just the opposite direction. And we already know that's negative 15 because we just talked about it right there. So what you can see here is that a negative divided by a negative is a positive, which was the same thing that it was for multiplication. Okay. Now this one right here, we already know that a negative times a negative is a positive, and 6 times 2 is positive 12. Okay. Now if we go backwards and we do this divided by negative 2, we should get negative 6. And what that means is a positive divided by a negative will give you a negative. So it's exactly the same as multiplying. Okay. So let's go ahead and fill in our rules here. Okay. We already know that a positive divided by a positive is going to give you a positive. That's what we learned way back when we learned how to divide in elementary school. And then a positive divided by a negative will give you a negative, right? Okay. And a negative divided by a positive will give you negative, thank you. And a negative divided by a negative will give you positive. Awesome. So hold on to these notes. These notes are valuable. You can always look back at them to see what the answer should be for a division problem, okay? Now, because they follow the same rules as multiplication, we can use our little triangle again to help us. So let's take a look at these 3 problems down here, okay? A positive divided by a negative. So I'm going to cover up a positive and a negative, and that tells us that our answer will be negative. And 25 divided by 5 will be 5. So the answer there should be negative 5. So positive divided by a negative is a negative. Now this next one here, negative 48 divided by negative 8. So you have a negative divided by a negative. So what should our answer be? And positive, right? Positive 6. Good. Okay. Now let's take a look at this one. We have a negative divided by a positive. So our answer should be negative. And then what is 150 divided by 15? Chelsea. What? Yeah, good. Yeah. So a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and it's 10, so negative 10. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do now is we just have like a activity for you guys to practice this. So Miss Lakey and I are going to pass that out. It's the same thing that you've done before.